Not yet. There we go. Ready to go live. Come on, StreamYard. Go live. Go live. Maybe I am live and I'm just shouting at a screen. Oh, let's see. Go live. Go live. I'm live is what the screen is telling me. Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday and I'm Will and I'm super excited for today's topic. And I'm looking in the green room. I see Rob there. Wave to me if you can see and hear me. I am first going to make sure that I ask everybody to put in the comments where you're tuning in from because I just want to see how global we reach. And okay, I'm going to reset because I'm going to try to remember what to do. I haven't done this in a few weeks. So if you recall, those of you who watch me, the last time I did this was with David Hansen, and then I've done audio rooms since. So I've done a couple of audio rooms, which I love the format. I'm going to definitely do more of them, but I missed the live. I like both. So today's topic is going to be being unkind in a cruel world, or I think I said that wrong. Being kind in a cruel world. Okay, it's been a long morning. I had a shift at another gig, and I'm just being silly. I'm going to bring Rob up. Rob is somebody, I'll let him introduce himself, but the purpose of this whole entire broadcast and why I did this was I love meeting people, introducing people, and learning more about them. So Rob is somebody, and he'll tell you this later, I stalked on social media for a while. I stalked his shows whenever he's a guest, and we seem to run into one another. So today was the first time in the green room we were able to speak one-on-one. So I'm going to bring him up now. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So here in the comments, where are you from? Are you team live or team replay? So Rob, I'm going to go do comment duty. I'm bringing you up. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see and hear you. And you know what? Let me just say this. I am team live. I mean,
it's so great. So Rob, for those of you that, for everyone out there that does not stalk you, tell us who you are, what you do, and then I'll jump in at some point and tell the audience why I stalk you.
ooh, what I do? That's a good question. So look, I am a certified public accountant. And before you get scared, I actually hate numbers. I like people. So what I do is I actually teach accountants and auditors how to have personality so that they can interact and engage better with others. And then at the same time, I help businesses save a whole bunch of money just by being, well, personal and personable at work. So that's one of the things that I do.
One of the things I don't know if it's really a handle you use, but I call you Mr. Cool. I remember you talked about you were on some show and you were talking about how you made auditing cool or someone made that. But we were talking about your voice, right? And so we're going to talk about the figurative voice, right? We each have a voice and we need to know how to use it. But I think I've been drawn into your circle because you've got that smooth voice. I was talking about that with you in the green room, that you've kind of got that voice that calms people down and it's a strength. So why don't you tell the story about how much you didn't like your voice
Oh God,
as
didn't.
you were growing up?
So being on LinkedIn, I hear that a lot. I hear you have a very nice and soothing voice, but I 100% hate my voice, and I've always hated it. And I was telling Will the story. So for those of you not familiar with the U.S. is divided into basically four geographic regions, right? You have the North, the South, and the East and the West. And I grew up in the Southeast part of the U.S. where we typically have these strange accents. But most of my family, they grew up in like the Midwest and the Northeast. And so I would visit them. I had family in Chicago and Cincinnati and New York, and I would visit them in the summers and they would make fun of me. I mean, they were brutal. And I was telling Will, you know how black families are? They tell a lot of jokes. They say your mama jokes, like your mama's so whatever. Your mama's so ugly, she could do this or she could do that. They would joke about my voice and I hated it. And I still hate it. I just talk because, well, I got to make money, right? And people like to hear me talk.
Yeah. Hey, you got what your mama gave you. You use it.
Right.
And I want to get back to what you said, that you're not about numbers, you like people, right? I talk a lot about numbers because I do like numbers. I'm a geek. When I need to calm my brain, I open up an Excel spreadsheet and start plotting things out. So numbers are something I love. I love beating goals. But you're right. I always was able to do what I wanted to do because I was more interested in the people I was doing it with and for. So
Mhm.
I worked in the public realm. So you're helping customers and you're helping clients and you're supporting a team. But Rob, you're one of those people, no disrespect here for auditors, but
Uh-oh.
people hear someone is a lawyer or an auditor, and you automatically think, hmm. And I know auditors and I know lawyers, nice people, but it's not a profession that people say, wow, that's just filled with kindness. So, how did you use your personality to be the kind, cool auditor?
All right, so you know what? Here, so I'm going to tell a story that I use in some of my training when I'm trying to teach auditors. So you know how when people are sitting at work and they're working on this huge project and it's very important to them, how do they typically refer to that project? They say, "This is my what?" What do they normally say?
They're territorial, right?
Right,
Right.
but they usually say, "This is my baby," right?
Oh, that's true.
This
Yes.
is my baby. This
Yeah,
is my
mine,
project. This is my baby.
mine. Right.
It's mine. So here's what I tell auditors to try to get them to empathize more with people. So let me ask you a question, Will. Would you ever call someone's baby ugly?
Never. No, 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 no.
Never. So
No,
think
no,
about
no.
this
You might
as
think
an
it. Might be like, woof.
see, I've never seen an ugly baby. I guess that's another side conversation we could have. I've never seen an ugly baby.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not the ugly baby, but like, what were the parents thinking when they put that outfit on the kid? Maybe
Okay,
that.
well, yeah, yeah, I get that. But think about this though. So if you're going in and you're auditing somebody and you find something wrong and you tell them that it's wrong, it's the equivalent of calling their baby ugly. So
Yes,
you
it is.
have to be delicate when you approach people and think about their feelings in every interaction that you have with them. And I think that's the part that we miss. We just think you're doing a job. And I think that's where being empathetic and being kind comes into play.
Um, I loved what we were talking about earlier, right? The whole topic today is about it's about kindness in a place where it's cruel, and I'm sure you suffered much cruelty when they were like, Rob the auditor is coming and he's going to be here. But I loved, and you taught me something in the green room. I loved the Mr. Nice Guy versus Mr. Kind Guy conversation. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, so for you guys listening, and now Will, you got somebody named Joseph Gonzalez saying he has no
Oh
video.
my
Joseph,
God, where? He's my brother. I adopted him. There
hey
he is.
Joseph, refresh your screen, man. Refresh your screen, and it should pop up. So Will and I were just talking, and I told Will, I said, Will, I'm not a nice person. And he had this shocked look on his face, like, what do you mean? I think you're a nice person. I am not a nice person. I'm a kind person, and there's a difference. So for me, if and I believe I like words. Words matter a lot. So I've written several books, and I have to write a lot of reports for the job that I do. Words matter. When people say, when you look up the word kind or kindness, it's well, first let's go back. When you look up the word nice in the dictionary, it says agreeableness. And anybody who agrees with you all the time is probably not a kind person, you
Right.
know. And so Will and I were talking, and I said, so for example, if I had a girlfriend who was say like people are gonna get mad, Will, we're gonna get canceled today, but so like if I
Bring
had
it
a
on.
girlfriend, if I had a girlfriend that was like a size 4 and she came out to dinner in a size 2 dress, the nice person would say, "Oh, darling, you look great." That's being nice because you're agreeable. The
Right.
kind person would consider her feelings and would say, "Listen, this dress is not flattering to your figure. You need to put on another dress." Now, that's the difference. A kind person will tell you what needs to be said. They'll be truthful and honest. A nice person might lie to you because they don't want you to dislike them. So I'm not a nice person. I'm a kind
you
person.
you helped me with that, right? And I think the look of shock on my face wasn't about what you'd said, that you're not a nice guy, but really clearly talking about what you just said. I know I suffered greatly. The people pleaser that I was,
Yeah.
and I think pleasing people isn't a bad thing, but when you look between being nice, telling people what they want to hear, instead of like, no honey, I think you you should put on some slacks. That dress isn't working,
Yeah.
versus just being nice. And I we were talking about this earlier, and I'd love your point of view. I know that I did some people wrong with
Yeah.
wanting to be kind, but you veer off to that nice because you don't want to make someone feel bad. I've learned only recently, I would say in the last 5 years, the difference as I've been working through that. Today, mark your calendars, folks, October 5th, noon, New York City time. I learned something new from Rob Berry.
Yeah. And you know what? I know that I've let people down in the past when I was a people pleaser, a nice person. I probably did not say things that I should have said because I wanted to be nice. So I think nice is okay as long as you don't compromise one of three things. As long as you don't compromise truth, as long as
Mhm.
you don't compromise honesty, and as long as you don't compromise your own personal integrity. But oftentimes, to be nice, we sacrifice one of those three things, and that's bad.
That's really bad. And I'm guilty about it. And I've been building this
Me too.
this community built on kindness. And it's interesting where people will come at you with, kind is weak, you need to be strong, don't take no for an answer. Um, I really think that no can sometimes be the kindest thing you can tell someone,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Mr. Nice Guy is going to be just telling them yes, because then it's instant gratification, right? You're making it easier somehow for that person to feel better about themselves, but you feel worse because you weren't really being honest. Maybe
Ooh.
that's what it is.
Let's talk about
Honesty.
no for a minute though. Let's really okay. So most of us are afraid to tell people no because we're afraid that we might let them down. At some point, I started looking at no a whole lot different, and I was happy when people would tell me no. So let me explain. If I ask you to do something and you tell me yes simply because you don't want to let me down, you're not going to do a good job.
Right, right,
But if you tell me no, now I know you can't do this thing and I can find the person that
right,
can do it. And essentially, you've actually saved me time, effort, and energy.
right.
So, oh, I'm a big fan of the word no. I love it. No, 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 no.
I wrote about that recently, maybe even today, and no liberated me.
Yep.
I couldn't. I was raised in a retail world, right? You raised in a family, you don't say no to an invitation, you don't say no to a customer, you try to always please, please, please. And no is sometimes the thing you need to say most. And I would only say I began to use it in the last few years. I think when the right around the pandemic, when the world turned upside down and everything changed. And I just realized sometimes you have to say no to some of the stupid ideas that come your way, or some of the things that are unreasonable, because they won't fit into what people do for a living, right? They won't fit into the work that people need to do. And
Absolutely. So, look, you've got Mikhail Bino. Hopefully, I'm saying that right, but he asked a really good question.
Miguel, yeah, let me see if I could bring it up here on the screen.
Yeah, he said,
Miguel,
what, being kind, does that mean that you always have to give? No,
mm-mm.
absolutely not. Sometimes you can be kind just by telling people no. Like I just said, if somebody, I'll give you a really good example. So, because I'm a CPA, people think that I do taxes. I don't do taxes. I hate taxes.
Don't
So
ask you to do taxes. I'm looking for someone to do mine. You want to do mine, Rob? No.
right. So I don't do taxes, but people will ask me, can you do my taxes because I'm a CPA? Now, telling them no is the best thing that I can do because if you don't want to be arrested by the IRS, then you better not let me do your taxes. So,
That's great. You're really lighting up the comments here. I'm trying to keep up and see what everybody's going on. But talk about that, right? Let's get to the topic. We wanted to talk about being kind in this world that's not cruel. You talked about geographic areas and people being different, and we're judging. I had family, and there's Nita, who I have on the screen. Hey, Nita, family down in Houston, right? Talk about making fun of people. When my cousins and relatives from Houston would come up to New York, right? Wow, that was like, you talk funny. you know, you don't use the same words as we do, but that was kind of cute, and it was your family, and it was your thing. We're now living in such a divided world, right? If I don't agree with you, we can't be friends, and there's enemy. I don't know. How are you dealing with that, right? As you're growing your business and you're doing what you do, how are you dealing with that?
so I- this may be an unpopular opinion. I don't know, but I believe that one of the reasons that the world is so divided is because we all operate on our feelings instead of facts. Um,
Mm.
so
Facts come from the auditor. You want the facts. Show me the sheets. Show me the
right,
numbers. Right.
right. I can acknowledge your feelings, but you will not sit here and tell me that the sky is red when I'm sitting here looking at a blue sky. In that case, your feeling does not count. I don't care if you feel like the sky is red. So I think that, but again, it goes back to being nice versus being kind.
Right.
A kind person should be able to disagree with you and still like you, and as a person, as long as you don't compromise morals, ethics, and values. It all goes back to that: morals, ethics, and values. And I think we don't operate under morals, ethics, and values anymore. We operate on feelings. And here's the thing: feelings change. Feelings are like your taste buds; they change. When I was young, I didn't like certain things that I do like now. However, values don't change. You still should be honest. You still should have integrity. So those if we go back to morals, ethics, and values in this world, then I think it'll right set stuff.
In the comments, I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing, I think it's Yanni, who's commenting, being kind doesn't light him up. I'm sorry to be breaking away from this conversation. And he put something there recently, but just now, that we all can't be Mother Teresa. Teresa, Mother Teresa. Sorry, my Portuguese is coming out. Teresa. The point being here is that I think he's nailing what we've said, right? Being a kind person, talking about kindness, and someone who advocate for being kind leaders, doesn't mean sainthood. It doesn't mean
Right.
that you give everybody what they want. And I think this is the conversation that I love having, in that while things are so upside down and things are people are so divided, you get to be able to meet with people one-on-one. Hey, I like a grouchy person as much as anybody else. You don't have to be kind and the cheerleader. You get to know someone and their actions are kind. Some of the gruffest people you can meet actually have the softest hearts.
Yep.
Now, Joseph is in the audience. I adopted him because my biological brother Joseph won't go anywhere near social media. On his outside, he's this gruff guy. On the inside, he's mushier than I am. And I think that is one of the things that I have come to learn about people. You love people. So tell me, what is it that drew you into your profession? What made you? You don't like numbers, but you like people. You're not a nice guy, but you can be kind about it. Like, what drew you into your profession?
Okay, so what really drew me in is I like to fix problems. And so the tagline for my business is improving people, processes, and profits. Every business wants to make a profit. Whoever says they're not in it to make money, you're lying. Everybody needs to make money because we need it to survive. However, for me, I believe that people are the backbone of everything that you do. So if you make sure that your people are okay, they will improve whatever processes that they work on within your business, which will improve your profits. And so that's really how I got into it, because the type of auditing I do is all about looking at processes anyway. It's not numbers. I'm not that kind of auditor. I look at processes. But you know what? You've got somebody in the audience that said something that I think we should talk about and highlight. Giannis says, "Why do you Americans preach about cruelty, then kindness, when you merely maintain estranged families?" Giannis,
Yeah.
that is the problem. The problem
Mhm,
is that we've gone away from family and family values.
mhm.
So I agree with you. That is the whole problem
Right.
right there.
Right.
I mean,
It is, right? You look at a question like that and you start to realize that is the problem. Where's our humanity, right? I think kindness is just being in touch with your human side, right? It's human. It's humor. You know, it is something that we've gotten away from. And I can't speak to many other cultures. You probably know this, Rob, and those who watch. I've got the dual culture of here in New York and down in Brazil, so I have a point of view about two different cultures. But if you find your humanity, which Brazilians do, you can come together sometimes in a way that's just magical. Now, I'll let you see if there's any other comments there. Here's some Stefan. Even though I'm advocating for kindness and empathy in leadership, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with everyone or take decisions to please people.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that just goes back to the earlier conversation. If you're doing that, then you are nice. You're not kind.
Right.
Those two are different. A
Right.
nice person will try to please everyone. A kind person will stick to morals, ethics, and values. It's really that simple. Kindness does not mean that you agree with everyone and everything that they say. It simply means that you are stating the truth and you're stating the facts, but you're not necessarily just trying to purposely hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah. And then Helen, our dear friend Helen from Israel. Hello, Helen. She has problem with people who are clearly wrong, yet won't take a different stance. That's another big problem. Would you say? Right? If you say something and you're wrong, we live in a society right now that you just have to stick by your wrong.
Well, think about our political parties here in the
Right,
United
exactly.
States and the way that they're set up.
Right.
You know, you could sit here, and if you are in one political party and your party says something that is stupid, you agree with it simply because it's your political party.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. That is, again, being nice,
Right.
but that's not being kind, because being kind would be telling the person in your political party, look, what you're saying right now is wrong. It doesn't make any sense. Here's the truth. But yeah, I agree with that.
So Rob, tell me, okay, because people are on this platform, people will be watching this later, people like myself, starting your own business. You're trying to get out there. We're using social media, we're using this platform. You have your own shows. What is it that drives you? I'm always so curious. I started my company because I just like to talk, I like to meet people, and I know I want to use my presence to help organizations. I want to go big, I want to help as many people as I can and get as many clients as I can. So you're that audit guy. Are people looking to you because they just have to go through their books and figure something out? So tell me, what drives you and why would people want to be working with you?
So, what drives me is a desire to improve operations in organizations. And like I said earlier, that starts with the people. So again, I don't look at numbers. I don't audit numbers, I audit processes. And I started taking a tally of the amount of money I was helping companies save, and I just stopped counting when I got to $15 million. I was like, yeah, well, so I'm effective. But for me, when I help, it makes me feel good. Like
Yeah,
it makes me feel good to really help, and to help in doing something that I'm good at. So I'm good at auditing, so I do that. I'm also good at training, so I'm a trainer and I train auditors on how to have better interpersonal skills. But I'm also good at doing video. So all those videos you see me producing,
yeah,
I do that. I do all the work. I'm a good writer, so I've written several books, and I'm
that's very
told
good.
that they help people. What drives me is that I'm helping people.
Yes,
It's as simple as that.
That's wonderful.
Well, and I get paid for it. I mean,
Yeah. Hey, who everybody likes some cash flowing in, right? To make money makes the
right.
world go around, and that's really wonderful. Getting back to helping people, uh, for me, all that I've been doing, and Shri, our wonderful Shri, the perfect person to help you get all your equipment set up and just get on camera and go. I realize the power of this medium, right? You've got a video. We're live now. It's recorded and it sits somewhere in cyberspace forever, on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. But to be able to use your voice and use this medium to help other people, the biggest kick I get out of all of this, the biggest joy I get out of anything is that when someone reaches out to me, something I've posted, something I've said, a guest like you could be on the show, when they say it helped them or it inspired them, right?
Yeah.
No money to be had. It's not like you're trying to out there looking for clients, but when someone can say to you that what you are saying and doing really is everything. And I get that vibe from you, and that's why I stalk you. Quite honestly, that's why I stalk you.
It is an extremely good and rewarding feeling when something that you've said or something that you've done has helped someone. Like I get emails, people saying, "Hey, you said this on this day and it helped me," and I'm like, "Really?" And the thing is, half the time I don't remember what I said because, like, I know people talk about social media and how fake it is. What you hear me say is just what I think and what I feel, and it's very consistent and congruent. So I don't have to fake anything. And so it's such a good feeling. But for me too, one of the things that I like is essentially this is your legacy. Like this is a gift that you're leaving to the
Right.
world because it's recorded. And a lot of stuff that I say is stuff that's been passed down from my grandmother and my grandfather. And
Mhm.
so now the legacy that they've worked to pass down, I'm sitting here just saying it because I lived it and people were like, this is great. I'm thinking, but this is what my grandmother told me when I was a kid and it still
Exactly.
holds true. So this is your legacy.
Exactly. I just love hearing that, and it's the weirdest thing that you can connect, that I can sit here and connect with you. We live in this world where you become connected, and I really feel you as a friend. I've never met you in person, but you can vibe with people, and that to me is just really, really incredible. I want to make sure that people, there's a couple of minutes left before we go. I want to make sure people can find you. So let me find the banner here that I created for you because I want to make sure that people get in touch with you. Correct me if I'm wrong. People can follow you on LinkedIn. You're Barry Robert. I looked that up this morning.
That is it. Apparently, Robert Berry is taken. Fun fact: Robert Berry is actually a rock. Well, the other Robert Berry is actually a rock star. He plays guitar and all kinds of stuff, and he's apparently a big deal.
So he's got. So if they do it, if they reverse the Barry and the Robert, they'll just get a rock star. But
Well,
I think
that's
you're
somebody
my rock
else.
star.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But no, that Robert Berry is actually somebody else. I was surprised at how common my name actually is.
Well, there's nothing common about you, my friend. You are awesome.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's good stuff. And then here, your website, I think I have this correct, thatauditguy.com.
That is me. Yeah. Yeah.
You give me goals for my website. I've just launched. I got something out there working, but I'm really, really trying to change it up. I want to do more video and a photo shoot, but I keep taking on projects and keeping myself busy, and I just have to pace myself. But you've got a great website, and I think everybody should just check that out. I also want your comment on this. This is one of my favorite things, and I hope I still have Grace Brady in the audience. Um, the topic today, right? Being kind in a cruel world. And that is a quote here: find out who you are and do it on purpose. Comes from Dolly Parton. I use it everywhere. I just love myself some Dolly. And kindness comes in the mail too. My friend Grace Brady sent me Dolly Parton favorite Southern style banana cake with its frosting. So that's one way you can be kind out there. So your thoughts on finding out who you are and doing it on purpose, and you don't have to work Dolly into the conversation.
You know what? I love me some Dolly Parton. But anyway, as a business person, she is fantastic.
Mhm.
But find out who you are and do it on purpose. I was reading a stat that said something like most people, I think it said something like 70% of the people in the world will die before they actually realize what they were meant to be doing. And I think that that's sad. Um, so I completely agree with that quote. Find out who you are and continue to try to do it. But I think the problem that we have is that search of finding out who we are. Heck, I didn't really find out who I was until I was, I think, probably in my 30s. And oh wow, I'll be 49 next month. Anyway, um
You look pretty good.
well, thank you, sir. But yeah, I think once you find that out and you start doing what it is that you're meant to do, first it comes easy,
Right.
and secondly you feel fantastic. Like every day you feel, no matter what's going on around you, you feel fantastic.
And as we close out, right, I go back to what we were talking about in the green room. We were talking about our voices being made fun of, not listening to our voices. I really myself reached that point. I if you don't like me, don't follow me. If you don't like what I do, then there's what, how many billions of people in the world? That's totally fine. And
Yeah.
when you let go of thinking that you're supposed to please everyone, you can just come into your own. And I just absolutely love the fact that I was able to have you here today, Mr. Smooth Voice, and get to have my first one on one with you recorded and the world can watch it. Oh, wait, we have a late breaking comment from my good Staten Island friend, Stephen Lowell. Staten Island. Let's see. I'm really reading this live. People seem to leave out the necessity to read the person you are talking to. Brutal honesty can be delivered kindly. And sometimes encouragement to figure it out for yourself suffices over a no or a yes.
Yep.
Reading people is a soft skill that cannot be quantified and is lost with 100% text. Digital comms. Sorry for the long comment. I think that's a great comment. What do you say about that, Rob?
I agree 100%. I mean, this is what I teach auditors to do, is to have soft skills and to deliver. We have to deliver bad news all the time. So I teach them how to deliver bad news in a kind way. And I agree with, it is lost in 100% text and digital communications. I
Yep.
think, but I think the world is digital. So you have to learn how to do it, which goes back to what we said earlier,
Right.
how to video. Like a lot of us, we're quick to send an email or a text message. I'll send people a quick video because you can
Yeah.
see my face, hear my intonation, understand if I'm happy or sad, But yeah,
Right.
I agree.
I've had wars with people over text messages. That will not, yeah, yeah, absolutely. All in my head when you talk to them. Oh, that was a
Yep.
joke. Oh, that's what you meant, right?
That is it exactly. Yeah.
Now I've taken you to overtime. It's 12:33. We've got some people. Oh, Helen liked Stephen's comment, and then Grace is saying thank you and have a great day. So with that, we've come to the end of our half an hour, and I thought it was just fantastic. I thank you so much, and I want everybody to follow you and to know more about you. Rob, last word before I hit end broadcast here.
Be kind.
Amen. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great week, everybody. And I hope you have fun watching the replay here, especially for those people in California who couldn't see the whole thing at the beginning. Talk to you soon. Keep it kind, folks. Bye.